morning. It is Friday, January 11th, and
2019.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, our first podcast of 2019.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. And if you're new, welcome. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you're a return viewer, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
Yes.
So I am Sheila, Shishi62 on Ravelry.
And I'm Margaret, and I'm Magpie60 on Ravelry. And we are Three Sisters Knit. This is our podcast, and this is episode 57. So, yeah,
wow.
We can't believe it.
Wow.
So we thought we would just bring you up to date. It's been quite a while since
yes.
we've podcast, but we've
about a month.
Yeah, so we'll bring you up to date on what we've been working on. Or not working on, and some ideas for 2019, what we're doing.
Some things that we're thinking we're going to do or get involved in, and some of the projects we're thinking we'd like to make. Yeah.
So, and I just thought I would say I am wearing my Waiting for Rain shawl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I am wearing my Tremble shawl. I'm trying to see. There we go. It shows the by Lisa Much.
Yes. So
she is Northbound Knitting yarn.
Mm-hmm.
She is just a couple hours from where we live. I'm just trying to. It's got a really neat. I really like the these blips.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then down here, they sort of go on an angle here.
Yeah,
they're like basically one under the other here.
Yeah.
So I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So, let's get started. How do we want to... We want to start with our whips first?
Yeah, we're going to start with our whips today. Mm-hmm. So, I have done a few things. One of the things I am working on right now is a pair of socks for my dad. Mm-hmm. They are an opal yarn. So, this is the Vanilla Latte pattern by... I think everybody knows it. It's a free pattern online. Mm-hmm. The Vanilla Latte socks by Virginia Rose Jeans. Mm-hmm. So this is it. And there's the name. Virginia Rose Jeans. And yes, I just thought this one would be good for... because Dad was complaining about socks cutting in a little bit, even though they're fairly
Our father
loose.
is 86.
He's 86.
So, and he's not as active. And so he's finding that regular socks tend to leave a bit of a ridge in his calf. So
he just doesn't like that.
He just doesn't like it.
He's got a bit of swelling, but it's as you age, that's sort of
he
normal.
Sits a lot. So, so these are going to be great. So,
yes.
Because there's a lot more...
there's a lot more stretch and give with it being that bit of a ridge. Mm-hmm. So it, so, and I have that in my Fringe field bag that we won a year ago.
Yeah.
From Fringe Supply Company. Yeah. We won. So that's what I have in there. I started something else. I saw this from, excuse me a second, Erin of Bling Your String. Mm-hmm. She has a podcast called She Must Knit.
Yes.
And she was saying this is a great way to get rid of your scrappy yarn. A lot of people are still having issues with trying to deal with the mitered square blanket.
Yeah.
They're
losing interest.
And because they're such smaller squares, I think they'd like to use more of their leftover yarn. So this pattern works out really, really well. It's by Hedgehog Fibers, and
it's also a free pattern.
Yes, it is. It's a free pattern, and I was just going to say, there's a girl that designed it, and I can't think of her name right now, and it's not written on what I have. Mm-hmm. Anyways, you use up all your scrap, and it's sort of a recipe. Basically, it does say that it uses 2 full skeins of their sock yarn, and they used, I believe, 6 minis. Of their minis.
Okay.
And there are 23 sections, but this is the basic pattern recipe of it. Mm-hmm. So you start here.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
You knit up. Then but you don't ever cast off. You just put it on some waste yarn.
Yeah.
And then here you keep that last stitch, and then you pick up all the stitches along, and then you knit outwards.
Yeah.
I'm doing this backwards.
Yeah.
Outwards. And then you keep the last, put this on the waste yarn, keep the last stitch, and then you pick up along here, and then add the live stitches, and then you knit up.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't tell you how many rows, but it just basically, and you're making a wrap. It's like
A big rectangle.
rectangle. So
you can just keep going,
and you just, and they actually tell you to splice your yarns together so you don't have ends to weave in.
Oh, nice.
So, and you can add your color, pops of color throughout. Wherever you decide to add your color, add it.
Okay.
And they give you a rough idea of how many rows to do for certain things. Like
just so that you end up with a rectangle.
Just so you end up with a rectangle. So that's about it. And they tell you, like, even for your pops of color, to just knit, like, it's all done in garter, so it's excellent. You just whip right through it. Anyways, I have done 4 sections, or I'm working on the 4th section. So this is what I have so far, and some of you may recognize from past episodes, there was that wrap that I was trying to make for myself, and it was like a linen stitch, and I had 2 yarns. I ripped the whole thing out. I frogged it, the entire thing. I thought, I want to do something with this. It's a mohair and a lace. Like, the mohair's not lace weight. There's a lace weight yarn that I'm using to go with it. And, like, even though, like, look at how the color stripes here, but then look at it when I knit it sideways. Look at that.
Yeah, because your rows are longer.
The rows are longer, so it changes
how it looks.
So I picked up, this was like row 1. This is section 2. This was section 3. I probably could have knit more, but I wasn't sure about how much yarn I had. And then this is section 4, so I have to add more. I still got a few more rows to do, probably about another inch or 2 on this. And then I'll continue on with section 5, which I think you pick up a stitch. I have to look. There are some video tutorials, because you're casting on, but you have to knit it joined to the other half. So there's a way of doing that. And I have a
it's
vague
really
idea,
fun
but
because you're like, you're saying, oh, this is from that project that you had. I recognize this as a project that I use this yarn for.
And I've made socks out of this one. Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun. It's like a memory blanket because you remember what you used the original for.
Yes.
But at the same time, you're making something that could be a wrap or even a blanket.
So it is sort of a scrappy one. You can do it that way, scrappy, using up all your different bits and pieces, from which I have a ton of because I did so many socks last year. Or you can be a little more organized and thoughtful.
And plan it out.
And plan it out more. So, like, because it says it uses 2 skeins of yarn, but they use 2 different skeins. They were close, but still different. So, if you have 2 skeins that you think go nice together, you can use those and just use a bunch of minis to add pops of color. And they said it used 1 full hedgehog mini to do the I-cord edging. They do an I-cord edging all the way around.
Okay.
So
that's going to be interesting because
I've never done it.
Want to
so
do this as well because I find it fascinating.
Yes.
So I really want to do it, and I've never done an
neither
I-cord.
have I. And they say that it really does, like, especially there's certain projects that just completely finishes it off. It just makes it so much nicer. And we know that Stephen West likes to basically do an I-cord edging on almost everything he does.
Yeah.
So, which does finish
and I have
off
to
a
say,
lot of
I remember at the Frolic one time meeting someone who I think she had made a Stephen West shawl wrap thing, and it was huge. I mean, it was huge.
Yes.
And she had done this I-cord bind off, and it really, really looked amazing.
Yes.
I think I'm not going to say who I think it was. It doesn't, because I'm not 100% sure.
Mhm.
But I do remember thinking it was very, it really did finish it off, and it looked
Mhm.
amazing. So I'd like to make something like this.
Yes.
Number one, to use up a bunch of scraps, and number
Yeah.
two, just to learn something new.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I
Mhm.
want to learn how to do how attaching it as you're knitting up the
Mm-hmm.
like picking up to knit that last stitch together,
Yes.
which it sort of tells you how to do it.
Yeah.
But there's a video, so I think I'll just sort of have it watch
Yeah.
the video just
I love
for
it
an idea.
when patterns include videos. I mean, I have to admit, when I
Mm-hmm.
go and look at the video, very often I'll watch it like 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Then I'll try it, and I'll go back and
Yes.
like as the video's going, and I'll
Yep.
rewind a little bit and
Mhm.
try it again. So it's great having those little video
Yes, it is.
tutorials. It really
is.
is.
It is, and I'm just looking forward to working on that.
Mm-hmm.
I am
Mhm.
throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's not anything that I have any rush to
Yeah,
do. It's
yeah.
just something that I'm going to. But yeah, I like the idea that you can get 2 coordinating skeins and
Yes.
have it look okay
Yes.
together,
Yes.
and adding these pops of color throughout.
Yep.
So I think that would make it fun, and using up your minis and using up another 2 skeins of yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa!
Yes, that would be amazing. Just using up a
Yeah,
lot.
I know.
So I'm really looking forward to doing
Yeah.
something.
So that is, I had one more project
Mm-hmm.
that I have to work on. I'm
Oh,
gonna have to watch some tutorials on
Uh-huh.
this because I don't know what I'm gonna do. When we recorded our last podcast, no, we didn't. We were going to, but we didn't. We had gone.
Because we didn't have anything really to talk
No,
about.
we did. It was right after I came back, and you came out late
Yeah.
the next day, and
Yeah.
we went and did something in town.
Yes.
And we talked about that. Well, 2 days later, I'm checking out the laundry. And my husband had worn his hand knit socks that I had made him a couple of years ago. These ones. And he had worn them into town, but he decided he would walk home so that we could have the car to drive home. Well, my husband wears his shoes so that he can just slip them on and off. So, big mistake, because now I have holes in the heels. Huge gaping holes in the heel. Needless to say, I'm a little ticked. He really is knit-worthy. I know you think, oh, no. This is 100% wool. There is no nylon in it.
Yeah.
And he has worn these. He basically wears these almost as a slipper around the house because they're very warm and toasty and cozy. Yeah. But now I have to, and this is a heel flap and gusset.
Yeah.
So if it was an afterthought heel, it shouldn't have been any problem. But now I don't have it, and I'm like, crap, what am I going to do? So now I have to try to fix this. This one especially is like way too big to
and it's so close to the edge.
It is. It's very, very close to the edge there.
Yeah, it's like 3
I'm
4
sure
rows.
I can pick up some stitches, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
This one I probably could too, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
no. I think I'm gonna actually do it in the black because this does have some nylon in it.
Yes.
And then, but I'm gonna reinforce the heel by doing that weaving in and out on an angle.
Okay.
On the inside,
On the
you weave it,
inside.
and it adds that extra layer,
Layer.
and it makes it a little thicker. And so that is a project I'm not in any rush to do. So, needless to say,
So is that your whips?
yes,
Okay, so I'm going to show mine. I can't believe it's still not done.
yes.
It was supposed to be a Christmas gift, but
Yeah.
it is not.
Oh, and neither of us have done anything on our own shawl, just to let you know.
Yeah.
We have not.
So this is the cupcake tunic that I had been working on for my little great niece.
Yeah.
This is using the Knit Crate yarn, and it feels like it has been going on forever. And every time I sit down to do some knitting,
Something happens.
well, no,
Comes up.
I just, at least I keep thinking, oh, this time I'm going to get it finished because it's so close. But I have done quite a bit. So the last time I was here, it's hard to see. This is where I was the last time I showed it to you. And so I have done a fair bit, probably about 5 or 6 inches.
Yeah.
And I'm really close to finishing. So
Yes.
it's essentially, I'm going to knit it till I run out of yarn. I've got that much left. And so
She's been alternating skeins.
Alternating skeins, and it's looking really nice,
yes.
I think. So.
And then last night at knit night, you were talking to Jen, who's the yarn therapist, because you want to do something.
I want to do something because the sleeves, the way it she doesn't bound like the off, I'm not happy because it curls up, as you can see. It just I don't like that. So she suggested starting from the center of the balls that are there and just knitting a few rows. And she also suggested just using a smaller needle to kind of make it a little tighter.
Pull it in a bit.
So I think I'll just do a few rows of garter.
Yeah, like do a garter, a purl, a garter to make it look like a garter ridge. Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'll whatever is left, I'll just finish in the length. So that's my plan.
Yeah.
And so my work projects, like my pain work, two are completely done. One is almost finished.
Yeah, she's waiting. She's like, when is this finishing? I want it done.
But so this is going to be my focus in the next little while, and I'm using the bag that Shauna, our friend Shauna, Treadle and Twine, she made for me using the fabric that I asked her to try and salvage from something I bought in Scotland. So so that's the one, and it's such a cute little size. It's just perfect.
It is perfect.
So it's great for me.
I know, it's excellent.
So that's what I have been working on.
Yes.
And then Shauna actually finished her Ohm shawl, our little knit group. We
beautiful.
We had all decided to do this Ohm shawl together, and she finished hers, and she brought it, and she was putting the buttons on last night. And it's so nice. And as soon as I'm looking at it, I'm like itching to get back to it.
I know.
I have to say that's one of the things that I'm really excited. It's like, once I know all my work is done and I'm not, because, it's really tight dedeadlines. And once I know it's all done, I can just sit and focus on the knitting. Yes. And I have a few other things I want to try and do. Just other things that I'm trying to get underway. So I'm so excited about that.
So
I like it when I get excited about the projects again.
So
at a certain point I was sort of like, I can't even look at my knitting, and I just felt like I had kind of lost my knitting mojo.
Yeah.
But
when editing, she's looking at a computer screen all day long, and her eyes are just tired by the end of the day. It's just
so I just wasn't doing it, and then I felt bad, and anyway,
it's okay.
But now I'm all excited again. So
yes. I know. Anyways, we'll talk about some FOs. Well, I'm the one that has FOs. Okay, now we got our Knit Crate yarn.
Yes.
And this is what I have left of it. So it was their bulky. This was their December booklet.
Mm-hmm. Is that on the cover? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
So our color was black cherry, I believe.
It's beautiful. It's hard to see because I'm wearing these sorts of colors, but it's really nice. And you can see how bulky it is.
I did the crochet pattern that they gave in this. It's called the Snow Bonnet. This is the hat.
As soon as I looked at that, I thought it was adorable. And I don't crochet, but I
did not
texted Sheila and I said, you have to make that hat because I love it.
There. I didn't do pom-poms. I just did like little tassels. But I did a pom-pom on the hat.
Yeah.
So it's quite warm. And I sit in here in the evening if it's like, because I don't go to bed till like 2 or 3 in the morning. So the heat's gone off in the house. So I'll sit here and I'm wrapped. I've got like a shawl here, a different shawl on my lap. I've got this and I'm sitting here. If somebody was to walk in, they'd go, are you okay? I look like a little street woman who's just gathered all of her stuff and just thrown it all on it. But it's very warm. It's very, very warm. But see, now you know why I generally don't wear hats.
You try on.
But this is the yarn. This was their bulky yarn. And it was quite nice.
It's cute. I like it.
Yes, this was it. It was the Vidlandia. Their Vidlandia brand, and this was the heathered Vidalanda. This is their heathered chunky, and it was called Black Cherry. And it's 100% wool, and it was 60 yards per skein, and we got 2 skeins. So, that looks really good.
It's cute.
It is. It's cute. It is crocheted, so it's a little more open, I find. So if you wanted, you could probably line it with some fleece.
Yeah, that would
and
be
it would
nice.
be a lot warmer.
Yeah.
It would like be really, really warm
It's
then.
really cute.
It is. It's very cute. That is what I made. So I just thought, no, I'm going to do
nice
that.
And thick.
It is.
Oh,
it's
it's
thick
really
and,
nice.
It's thick and it even though it's 100% wool, it's not itchy.
No, it's
It's
not.
not an itchy wool.
No.
They've done something, and I haven't even washed it or blocked it. So I don't want to because I'm afraid it's just going to really grow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it to my nephew.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be good. So that was one thing I finished. For my granddaughter, I've been waiting to use this Araucania, the Huasco worsted, which I bought in Oklahoma last October.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this beautiful, it's blown out here, but it's this beautiful pale green.
Yeah, sort of a minty green. Yes.
Sort of a minty green.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to get 4 skeins.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like $12.50 a skein. It was on sale.
Oh, wow.
It was half price.
Yeah.
So I made the Azelle pullover
Mm-hmm.
from which I've made these before.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is quite popular one for people who are making things for children.
Yes.
Because I've seen other people talk about it. So,
yes,
yeah.
it's very good. You can line it too if you want. I know a lot of people that would line it, put like a polar fleece inside.
Yeah.
I made it because with car seats, they're not supposed to have the snowsuits and all the bulky and all this stuff. So I thought, well, put on a good sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's warming up their cars.
Yeah.
But you can throw that on over top of once they're all buckled in. You can throw that on over top.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought would be perfect for that, right? So I did. I made that, but I had enough left over that I made her what I call idiot mittens.
Yes.
A pair of mittens to go with them, a matching pair of mittens to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I attached the string.
Yeah, the idiot string.
The idiot string, so that they don't lose them.
Yeah.
I know. That's what we called them growing up.
Yes,
mittens.
I don't know. They probably
and I
have
also
a nice
made
name
her a nice little ear flap hat
Mhm.
with a tie so that she could have her ears covered in that. And
Yeah.
all out of this yard. That's what and this is
Wow.
all I have left.
And so you could easily put that into some scrap thing.
Yes.
Yes,
Like,
because there's
that-
enough
like
there.
That what I'm
Yes.
doing, yes.
Yes.
So I could. So that is what I have finished. That's everything I have finished.
Excellent.
Yay! So, but other than that, what we've been up to, not an awful lot. So over Christmas and New Year's, it was fairly quiet. We had a couple of busy days.
Yes.
Christmas Eve, my one son cooked us a turkey dinner, which
Yep.
was very nice. His big dinner because
Mhm.
he had his in-laws there and his brother-in-law, and then Brian and I were there. So there was the 7 of us there for dinner.
It's nice.
So it was actually really, really nice. He did an excellent job. His first time doing a turkey, so
Yeah.
it turned out really, really well.
Yeah.
The next day we had Christmas morning at our house, and there were 7 of us for breakfast then, because my one son and 3 dogs. We had them come, and then we had our family Christmas Day dinner. So that was 14 people for dinner.
Yeah.
And then because my father stayed over, we do a Scottish breakfast. We do like fruit pudding and black pudding with potato scones and sausages and all of that sort of stuff. And there were 10 for breakfast.
Right.
Then I had to clean up from that, and I had to get ready for 18 people for my husband's side of the family for dinner that night. It was crazy. But my sister-in-law came early, so I wasn't even out of my pajamas. Just gonna have a quick shower.
Yeah.
Get myself dressed. So she continued on because we had organized, okay, you bring this, you bring that, you bring that. So everybody brought a bunch of stuff, so I didn't have to do as much.
Yeah.
But I was up until 2:00 in the morning getting the carrots ready, getting a few because I made scalloped potatoes in the crock pot because I thought I'm not going to have enough room in the oven.
Yeah.
So I did, just to get a lot of stuff prepared. So but it was good. So I'll let you know that it was just after that. I think was it that night we went out. We went in the hot tub, and the Big Dipper usually. I face pretty much east when I sit in our hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
So more to the north, we usually see the Big Dipper. So that's over the house. And I usually can't see it when I'm sitting. It was over my neighbor's house. So this is how, like, the earth has shifted.
Yeah.
So the Big Dipper. And I'm looking and I'm going, I said, am I seeing things? Because I'd seen this thing sort of shimmer across the sky. And I'm going, am I seeing things? I really haven't had that much to drink. I know I haven't had that much to drink. But I was looking. And it seemed to originate in the scoop of the Big Dipper.
Okay.
And then it would sort of shimmer there and then go across the sky. And I said to Brian, I said, I must be seeing things. Can you see this? So I said, look at the Big Dipper and see if you see this thing shimmer out of it and across the sky. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, that's the Northern Lights. So we act, and like you never see them where we are.
There's way too much light pollution out where we are to see them.
I was shocked I could see them. I also saw 4 shooting stars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that was around the time there was some...
That comet. And because which was behind me.
Yeah, but there,
The comet was in a constellation by Orion's Belt.
Okay.
And that's behind me. I came out and I went, oh, look, there's Orion's Belt. And I just sort of, but didn't pay attention. Had I looked, I probably would have seen the comet too, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and we're actually really lucky where we are because, yes, I'm in a subdivision, but because we're that much lower, our backyards all dip down. So we, from the back, our houses looks like they're 3 stories, but they're still only 2. It's the basement.
Yeah.
And
behind you, we've got
a green
parkland, green belt.
So we have no lights back there.
Yeah. So that does make a difference.
So we're very lucky. We can see some amazing stars.
Yes.
At night.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing stars.
Mm-hmm.
So we absolutely loved that, and I was just so happy that oh my god, I've seen the Northern Lights.
I know.
I've been at the cottage and not seen them, and that's usually if you're going to see them, we'll see them up at the cottage because that's like 2 hours north of where we are. And that makes a huge difference.
It does.
But yeah, so that was it. So the hot tub was just the end of 3 very busy days, but it was just like very much enjoyed.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that was pretty much it. New Year's was quiet. We just hung out at home.
Yeah,
we
same with us.
We didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. No.
We watched the countdown.
Yeah.
That was it. Done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. Yeah. We were the same. I just, watched the ball drop in New York and I stayed up a little bit later, just.
I was a little disappointed with the Canadian coverage. One of the other stations that I watched, other than my normal one, they were doing the, the main one was Niagara Falls.
Okay.
And, and they were showing, Winnipeg, they showed what was going on in Winnipeg. They didn't show what was going on in Toronto.
Oh.
It was the CBC. They didn't show what was going on in Toronto, and I know what was going on was mostly done by CTV.
Okay. See, and I don't get
that
that
they didn't
station.
even cover. So I was watching we had CTV and City are affiliate stations, and they both had New York on, which is fine. I don't mind watching a lot of that.
Most of the Canadian, at least a lot of the Toronto-based Canadian stations will show the New York, the Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Because I remember, we've watched that for decades.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I was watching a Canadian station that was playing, and I expected at least half an hour.
Yeah, or 10 minutes before the ball dropped to switch to the Toronto one because they were advertising it in Nathan Phillips Square. And
so right downtown Toronto, there was a big outdoor event, and they had a huge stage set up, and there were local, I think, artists playing, etc. So I was expecting to be able to see that, and
so were we. We were very disappointed.
It didn't switch, which I was sort of half... Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I was really disappointed. And the CBC.
Well, especially that, you would think they would show.
But they were doing the Niagara Falls one, and they were going all across the country. They went across the whole country. They had people in Newfoundland and
the different
the
time
Eastern Coast.
Yeah,
they
that
were
makes
showing
sense.
all the different parties that were happening. Yeah. The outdoor parties that were happening there. And they didn't show the Toronto one.
Yeah, but Niagara Falls is such a beautiful backdrop.
Oh, it is.
So I could see why you would make that choice, and maybe they alternate. I don't know. I've never watched.
But I was disappointed that City in CTV did not put it on.
Now, I remember watching...
I expect to see it even for like 15, 20
yes,
minutes.
Yeah, the key
right?
moment.
Yes.
Yes.
But they didn't.
But...
So I was quite disappointed.
Oh, well.
Yes. So other than that, now we are back into the swing. Everybody's gone back to work.
Yes.
All that.
It feels so much better to kind of, like, it's fun having the time off, but it's so nice to kind of get back to routine.
It is. The routine is, because you can get out of routine like that. So, yeah.
Anyway, but now we're in 2019, and I think we talked, one of the last times we podcast, we talked a little bit about choosing a word for the year. Now, last year my word was shine. Woohoo!
Yes.
I sort of did a little bit.
You did. Your yoga, you just improved immensely in your yoga.
And I self-published a novel.
Yes.
And so I had shiny moments, let's just say.
Well, that's the whole thing.
And that's the whole thing. So, and your word last year, did you have one?
I think I did, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
Yeah. So
I can't remember.
This year, we I know we posted it on our Instagram feed. So if you follow us there, you'll see that we have already posted it. So we'll just share it here for anyone who isn't on Instagram. My word that I chose was adventure. And the reason I chose that word is not just because I want to have some adventures in my life.
Yes.
But more having that adventurous state of mind, that sense of wonder, that in yoga and sort of that kind of philosophy, they talk about having the beginner's mind, so you are open and without judgment
to explore
and curious. So it's that sense of adventure as well, so that even if I don't go anywhere, because one thinks of traveling when you think of adventure, and I would like more of that in my life. Even if I don't, just to still approach even the routine of life with that sense of adventure.
Yes.
And like, let's see what happens, if once I move forward. So that's kind of how that word came about for me.
Yes. And I thought of this in the fall. It sort of came to me, and I sort of kept it close to me. And I thought, well, the last year I did a lot of knitting for myself. I don't want to call it selfish knitting, but it was knitting for myself, and it was just a personal challenge that I wanted to do for myself. So this year I decided, well, no, I want to do something else with my knitting and in my life. And I've just used the word giving. To me, that just sort of it really held strong with me.
It resonated with you very much.
Did. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff this year I'm going to be knitting is going to be for other people. I'm still going to knit a couple things for myself. I've got some plans. But I'm going to knit a lot of my stuff, like that. The socks I'm knitting, they're for my dad.
Yeah.
So, and I've got a pair of socks for my one son that I have to make, the ones out of that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I had the Star Wars sock blank, so I'm going to knit a pair of those socks for my son.
Yeah.
I have a grandbaby coming in the beginning of April, so I want to make her a special blanket as well.
Yes.
So that, and then I've got, there's just other things I want to make for other people. So just, I just want to do that. So, but yeah, I've written down all the projects. What I did was I thought, I have to focus on what I want to make this year. So a lot of people are doing the Make 9. I don't want to stick to anything like that.
Yeah.
But I've got a bunch of ideas going through my head, and I printed off a bunch of patterns because I've told Margaret, I said, I'd really like to make a pair of the mitts, the colorwork mitts. So I want to try a couple of those. I found some free patterns online. So I'm going to try those. And we have a ton. I have this yarn that our father and his wife brought back from Newfoundland. And it is 100% wool, but I've got like 7 of these, and they're all a different color. So I've got some that
But
are
they-
pale and some that
that
are
are dark.
darker, so there'll be nice contrast. But I thought these will be perfect for a pair of those mitts.
Yes.
So I thought, and we're trying to knit stuff up.
Yeah, use up our
Use
stash.
up a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
So
I
I'm going to
know we talk about that a lot here, and
Yeah.
I wish I were more active in my knitting so that I could actually
Yeah.
plow my way through
Yeah.
my stash. But yes, just working on the stash, not going to
Yes.
yarn stores at
Yes.
all.
We try really hard to not go to the yarn stores.
Mhm.
I know, but we're going to in February after I'm going to Florida again for 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, we're driving my mother-in-law down
Yeah.
with us, so we're just going to go for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But when we come back the following weekend, Christopher of Cabin Boy Nets is having a trunk show in Coburg.
Mhm.
So we want to go and see him because we really like him. He now has a podcast.
Yes.
Or a woolcast. He calls it a
woolcast,
woolcast
yeah,
because he talks a lot more about not just knitting projects, but he does natural yarn dyeing.
Yes.
He knows a lot about the different types of sheep and the wool that they give and all the different things he has on his property because he lives in a log cabin
in the woods.
woods.
Yes.
So he does a lot of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He finds stuff
So,
just on his
To
property
me,
to dye.
it's probably not the right word, but it's very the sort of technical side of things.
Yes, it's very interesting.
And-
Though. He
but
makes
it's really
it very
interesting.
understanding.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
he's such a nice guy. We've met
He's
him.
he's
few
a
times.
sweetheart,
He's just
absolute
such
sweetheart.
a nice guy. So yeah, I definitely want to head out.
Yeah.
So there's a yarn store in Coburg called Yarn It, and
Yes.
that's where he's having his trunk show.
Yes.
So if you
we're looking
are
forward to that.
yeah, if you're in that area, so it's
Mhm.
east of Toronto,
Mhm.
and if you're interested, it's definitely worth going. I can't remember the date, but it's February 9th, so it's a Saturday, I think.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to going.
I would,
in and
yeah, I would like to,
seeing
and
him.
I would
Because his
like.
yarn is really
It's
lovely. Like the
gorgeous.
colors,
Are
I'm really
gorgeous.
surprised at how nice they
Yes.
are. As you can see, I like
Color.
bold color.
Yes.
With natural colors, natural dyes rather, you tend not to get the bold colors.
Yes.
But I'm still curious. I'd really like to see.
Yeah.
I've seen the photo that they used on the Yarn It Facebook page. And,
Yes.
there were a couple colors there that caught my eye. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking
I know.
I might have to
Like
give in.
we're yeah. Well, and that's the thing. We're very specific
specific
and
yeah.
thoughtful when we are buying our yarn now.
Mhm.
I went through all my project bags and I laid them all out. You did it too. Laid out all these project bags and I counted how many I had and I thought, okay, fine. I want to do this project, so I took that and the pattern and put it in. So I've got
Yes,
my
I'm gonna
bags.
get out of the way.
I've sort of organized my bags here so I can see them a little more instead of just stuffing them. This room is also going to be redone after we
yeah.
get back from Florida. So I have to remove everything in this room.
Yeah, and we'll be changing the
color.
Yeah, it won't
the
be
whole
so
thing,
dark.
so it won't be so dark. So I said, Margaret, you get to help me do
Yeah,
this because
yeah.
this is sort of
'Cause
going to
this is
be
gonna be
our
our room.
This
Yeah.
is sort of our room together.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. So I've put projects in here that I'm doing. There's one down here that's already there. But I may change that one. That's that gray gradient, those gray mini gradients. So
Yes.
I'm like, I do have a pattern, but it's like, oh, maybe I don't want to do that. It's just one of those.
I know, and sometimes you need to spend the time organizing.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing. I was looking for a
Mhm.
particular skein that I thought I had. I cannot find it anywhere.
No.
And whatever. I don't want to go into it, but it kind of took over an afternoon, and
Yes.
I reorganized a lot of my yarn.
Yes.
But the same thing. I go in and I'm like, oh, I forgot I had this, and it's so nice.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
So, yeah. Yeah.
I know. So that's one of the things that we're planning on doing,
Mhm.
and I'm hoping we can go to the frolic. It depends when we're back.
Mhm.
Margaret's coming to Florida for the month of March with me.
excited.
I know.
War.
We'll be home for all of February, but then all of March we're going to be gone.
Yeah. So that'll be really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I'll try and bring my computer with me, and then we can maybe podcast
Maybe do a
down
quick
there.
little one. Yeah, I'm going to take her to a good yarn
Mm-hmm.
and in Sarasota, and then we will also go to, I'll see if we can get to Venice and go to Needlefish Yarns in Venice.
Yeah. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, because
what
they're the
everything's
ones
like
that
when
are
we're
the
down there.
most local to where we are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
unless anybody else knows of other ones in Florida that
Comment
are that close,
below.
please, yes, let me know, because I'm always interested in finding a new yarn store.
Yeah.
Always interested in
I have
new
to say,
yarn
one
stores.
of the, I mean, that was one of the things that kind of got us started is when we did that trip to Savannah.
Yes.
And we were so excited because we found a local yarn shop and they were carrying local indie dyed yarn. And so it's always fun to go and see things that we don't have access to at other times. Although a lot of times now with Etsy and various other online shops.
Yeah.
But really it's just sort of getting the word out there and checking things out.
Yeah. And I find yarn, a lot of people buy a ton online, which is fine. That's great, because I know that's the only way a lot of people can.
Yeah.
I'm very, I want to feel it and check it out, sort of thing. Like just get a good feel of the yarn before I buy it. But once I've bought it, I can buy it online because I've already checked it out. So that's just how I work.
The other thing too that I like about visiting a local yarn shop when you're traveling is if you find an indie dye and you happen to like it, that's great. You love supporting the local. But then when you bring your yarn home and you work with it and you create something with it, it's part of the story of the project that you've made. And I just find that really like a lovely thing when you're, because anything that's left over could be like a memory blanket or that
add to it
thing.
for that.
Yep. So it really is creating memories.
Yes.
And it's so lovely to do something like that.
Yes.
So.
But, okay, so from there, talking about getting things, I'm going to show you, I actually did get a few knitty stuff for Christmas, which I was pleasantly surprised. So first thing I got, I'm going to show,
this out of the way.
is this. It's a project, like a little bin. It's like scissored and it opens and closes. It sits on the floor. So I really like it. And it has these, like this one you hold your needles. It's got the slots for needles.
That's cool.
There's another one on this side, which you can tuck it in, but it's like a notions pouch. It's all zippered.
Cool.
And they actually come off. They're snapped on, so you can actually take them off. There's pockets inside. So that was from, I had a whole bunch of stuff written on the fridge for ages. Yeah. And they weren't sure, so cedar balls for the yarn was one of them. So I got some of those. I got this from Alan and Kim because Layla, I have another one that was my mother's, but it's cloth. Yeah. And she's at the phase where she likes to sit in things. Well, she sat in it and ripped it. All the whole thing along the edge, it just ripped. I sewed it up like 2 days before I got this. They got me this book, which I had on the list. Yeah. Which is Kate Atherley.
Awesome.
Yes. I've already started going through it and doing a couple of the things.
Yeah, like this is the one where you were... So it's got a really cool way of how all the different measurements of your feet that
how
you should
to measure your foot. So just all the different ones.
That alone is probably super helpful for anyone who makes socks.
Side note, this Wednesday for the Toronto Knitters Guild, Kate Atherley is speaking there. So I'm going to bring my book and get it signed.
Fangirl.
I hope she can sign it. So anyways.
Bring a Sharpie. Yeah, for sure. There's no reason for her not
I got this t-shirt from one of my other sons.
Which is so sweet.
Yes. Peace, love, and it's a crochet hook in there. Yeah. So peace, love, and crochet. So, which he said, I do that too. So it's like, I haven't worn it yet because I wanted to show it on this. Yeah. So I got that. And then Alan and Kim also got me a mug. So it may be a little offensive. It is adult content only, but.
And now, Sheila showed it to our knitting group, and we all were like,
I want that.
Yeah, I want the same mug.
I couldn't believe that they did this. And my daughter-in-law goes, I went on, looked for, like, I just went onto Amazon and said knitting things, and she goes, I can't believe all that. And I said, I know. I know.
There's a lot of
you don't need to tell me.
Things. Yeah.
So that'll be my one. I'm going to actually take the one that was Mom's down to Florida.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, that way, because I don't need two of them in my house.
No.
And I've sewed it all up by hand and just fixed it as
Yeah.
well as I can, and it'll be less likely to be sat in there. So, but do you have any projects that you have planned for the new year?
Well, I have, like Sheila, I have a ton of, I think I counted like 13 or 14 project bags.
Yes.
And they've each got a pattern and yarn in it.
Yes. Which you went through to help.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but they have been sitting, my office where I work is also where I keep all my yarn and that.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I have them, and they've been sitting there
Mm-hmm.
on my art desk, because I also have that in there, for probably close to a year now.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some socks that I want to make, because
Yeah.
you gave me that Huga yarn from Christina for my birthday, I think.
Yes.
And I've got a lot of yarn from Amanda, Yarn Enabler, that I've been wanting to make things with.
Yes.
I have some stuff that I originally was going to do another Pure Joy in, but I'm thinking I might maybe do like
the
a tremble or
I
something.
love this. This one, it took most of the blue skein and just over 1 and a bit skeins of the darker one.
So
you need almost two.
I've got 2
skeins.
in a teal color.
Yeah.
And then I have a coordinating, it's a gray background, but it's speckles with teal in it.
So that would be the top part.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the bottom part would be the solid.
Ooh, that would be so
Yeah, and I mean,
nice.
it's the rich. I got
You gotta
them.
watch it. Amanda might steal it off you.
I got them. So anyway, I have that project, like the 3 skeins and that. And anyway, I have a ton of things sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I don't have anything in particular I want to make.
Yes.
But once I get through the things that I have on the go,
Yes.
I will be so excited to just pick
I know.
something and make it.
I went through, before the end of the year, I went through the list in the last, like, October, November, December. I went through my stuff and I looked at all the stuff. I have a whiteboard and I write down the projects I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you've got the projects from last year. They're still there.
Still there, exactly.
They're not even crossed off. Mine are gone. I've had to erase them because I said, I went at one point, it's either, if I'm not going to do it, I'm going to frog them. So I either frog them, or one I ended early and cut it off, and bound off.
Yeah.
So I did that.
No, I'm more of a... I don't like to plan. I don't like to say in January, I'm going to
do this.
I'm going to make a this and a this and a this. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the projects that I have ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And when I am ready to start another project,
yes,
I will just pick one.
Yes.
Whatever I'm in the mood for.
Yes.
So I know, that's how I do it.
And that's the thing, because you can go through patterns one week and go, I want this pattern with this yarn. Okay, that's perfect. But 2 weeks later, your mood can be different. And you'll go through your yarn and you go, no, I don't want to make that. I want to make this instead.
And how many times did you, when you had your sock project bags that were closed up, and you started and you were like, you know what, this pattern and this yarn is not working.
Yes.
So I don't like to tie myself to anything.
No, well, but the one thing I liked is, like, I've got several things down there. I've got like, okay, one of the things I want to do is my birds of a feather. So that is in a project bag.
That's kind of in the back of my mind.
I've put that there with the pattern. My Ohm shawl. So I need to keep continuing working on my Ohm shawl, but I don't want to start this one till that's done.
That's
so this is what I'm trying to do, but I still want to keep a pair of socks on the needles all the time.
I have 3 whips on the go, and I will not start anything else until I have at least 1 done.
Yes, yes. And
preferably
then
2.
I wanted to make socks for my dad, so I've got those started. I'm going to make socks for my son, so I've got it in a bag here. It's all sitting there, labeled and ready to go. What else do I have up there? I have to fix Brian's socks, my
Mm.
husband's socks, because of
Yeah.
the big holes he's got in them. I'm working on the scarfy thingy,
Yeah.
and I have baby blankets down there. So,
Yep.
and I have my friend Nancy shawl that I still need to finish from last year that I started.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to work through what I have, and I'm going, okay, those are my focused ones. But
Yes.
then I was saying, like, I want to make a pair of colorwork mitts.
Yeah.
They may not get done this part of the year, but maybe in the fall I might do
get started on it.
Yeah. So
and
things like that.
that's why I don't like to tie myself into,
But I'm trying to sort of, if I get my yarn in if I get them all in the bags, and it helps me focus on that's why I'm doing it.
So, and one of the things I realized too is I don't know that I'm going to make a lot of socks that have patterns in them, because I realize that it just,
vanilla sock is better for you, just so you can just sit and knit.
So that
mindless.
There's a good chance that as the season progresses and it's like, oh, I feel like just having a pair of socks on the needles.
Yes.
It'll be my Hygge socks, because I can just cast on and knit. And that suits my temperament, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I love looking at
that's why I want to keep
patterns,
always having a pair of socks on the needle.
Yeah.
Even just like a vanilla. I've got a couple pair, like several stripy socks. I've got one, like the one that Christina gave me for my birthday last year. There's a stripy one. I've got 2 sets of turtle pearl.
Oh, that's
yarn.
Right. Yes.
And so those will be great vanilla socks as well. So it's just things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I like an easy.
Yeah. And they're great,
because
then
no matter where you go, get done for me.
No matter where you go, like it's great. I do when I'm in Florida. Oh, we're going to the grocery store. It takes like almost 10 minutes to get to the grocery store. It's not that far, but there's so many lights that you have to go through. And their lights are like really long.
Yes.
So it's like, no, these ones turning left can go. No, these ones turning left can go. No, then we'll let these ones go through. And then these ones will go. So it's like, they just take so much longer. Their lights are like 5 minutes. You're waiting at least 5 minutes at the lights.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like, so I take my knit and I'm just sitting in the car and I'm knitting while we're on the way to the grocery store.
Obviously the husband is driving.
Yes.
Sheila's not knitting while she's driving.
No.
Oh, we're stopped to do a few more stitches.
No, I don't do that. No, I'm a very safe driver that way. I do not knit while I'm driving. So, but yeah, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Just sort of to get things
just to
done.
have something.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It's amazing because sometimes you can get like 5 or 6 rows in. It's like, wow.
Wow.
And when you're getting 5 or 6 rows in, just
That's
back
a stripe.
one way, there's a stripe.
Yeah.
And then another stripe. So it's like,
yeah.
And it's easier to if you're not doing a pattern and you're just doing a vanilla sock, it's so much easier to just shove it, like pull the needles up, shove it in your purse, and you just continue on when you get back in the car. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, that's funny.
So, well, it helps get them done.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think that is everything for us.
Yes, I think we are done.
Yeah. So, we had some technical difficulties as we went along.
Yes.
So, I'll be editing this likely when I get home in a little bit. So
if that work doesn't come through.
Yeah. So if I get have some running around to do on my way home, and hopefully this will be posted over the weekend.
Yes.
As I said, if you have any ideas of yarn shops that Sheila and I could visit when we are in the Sarasota area,
within a half an hour or so from Sarasota, like any direction. So
so we would love to hear from you. So if you want to comment at the bottom, otherwise, Happy New Year, everybody, and we hope you have some great projects and yarn for 2019.
Yes, enjoy it, and thanks for watching. And if you're new, I hope that you found something enjoyable about it. If not, there's lots of other ones.
Yeah. So thank you,
and talk with y'all later.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye.